Okay, right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin ashrafil mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Okay, I'm bad. So yes, tonight we're not going to do an ayah from Surah Yasin. As I've informed you last week, we are actually going to do a topic under the Ilmu Ma'ani, yes, which is of course a Balaghah science. And we're talking about Ma'rifah and Nakirah. Ma'rifah meaning definite and Nakirah indefinite. Or we can also say proper and common. Yeah, these are the type of nouns. These are terms that we use for nouns. We saw this chart because I just wanted to tell you where we are on this chart. We have done 1 to number 5. So now we're going to do number 6. And inshallah, biiznillah, we will do 7 and 8 later on in the course of Surah Yasin. So we went through the terms, yes, musnad ilayh, musnad and qayyid. And I thought it would be more useful if we just saw this, yeah, because sometimes words pictures worth 1,000 words. Yeah. So here, musnad is what we are talking about someone. Yeah, musnad ilai is what we are talking about, and this is what we are saying about them. Yeah, and these are the restrictions to what we say about them. Oops, sorry, all of this. Inshallah. Then we saw 2 types of sentences that we needed to remind ourselves about. Jumlah habariyah, basically a sentence that tells you something, and jumlah insha'iyah, a sentence that requests for something. Yeah. Here we see the different types. Yeah. And I explained the difference between tamani and taraji. Tamani is to wish for something that you can't have. Taraji is to actually make a wish for something that is feasible, but whether you get it or not is conditional. Okay. So, okay. Nakirah ma'rifah. The types of ma'rifah. We will address ma'rifah first, yeah, because ma'rifah, we have many types of ma'rifah. Anything else will be nakirah. The default is nakirah. So the domain, we know this, the pronoun, something that you know. It usually refers to something that you know. Yes, so that's why it's a ma'rifah. Alamun is the singular for a name, proper name, an actual name, something you call someone or place. Ismu isharah, you know this. This is the demonstrative noun. It points to something. Mausul, your relative pronoun. Mudaf, yes, your possessive. Mu'arif bil lam, this is when you make something definite by using alif, lam, yes. And when you make something known because you're calling it out, yeah, binida. Because you need to call someone you know, basically, or address someone you might not know, but you're still addressing that person. Yeah, so certain forms of nida comes under this category. So I have the English translation here for you, and we're going to tackle Domir. Okay, so when do we make al-musnad ilayh proper? Musnad ilayh, as I said before, is what you're talking about. Yeah, your subject. Yeah, your subject. So this would be basically your subject would be your mubtada and your fa'il. Yeah, this is what we mean by subject. And I have a title here that says Al-Idmar Maqam Al-Izhar. Yes. Now, Idmar, as you know, means to be hidden, something that is hidden. Izhar is something that is seen, yes, that is there. Okay. So in this context, let's have a look. What do we mean? First, let's remind ourselves, okay? Now, a third person pronoun can be spelled out, izhar, or implied. But this is not talking about this so much, okay? This is talking about something that is hidden in the place, something that is hidden when it should be there, okay? It is usually used after an antecedent. Yes, this is something that comes before it because the third person pronoun, the huwa, the whom, yes, or must be addressing somebody in particular, yes? It stands for someone. That person has a name, okay? When it is used without one, it means the noun is understood by all, okay? When there's no antecedent, that means that noun, you know it refers to someone in particular. And because maybe the context will tell you this, yes? So you don't have to spell out what is this who for, yeah? For example, what is this he? Who is this he? Because it's understood, okay? So this is what we mean by when we don't use an antecedent, because the pronoun is representing someone that is well known within that context. So when you use a pronoun, when you were expected to use a noun, now this is what we're talking about. Yeah. When you use a pronoun, when you're expected to use a noun. Okay. So far, I'm just telling you what a pronoun is about. Yes. Yes.
Zuraidah, sorry. Can you explain more about antecedent? I've never heard that word before.
Antecedent, you have not heard. We
Yes.
were talking about mubdal minhu and badal. Yes. The antecedent is what comes before it.
Before the
Mubdal min,
domain.
yeah, no, anything that comes before, yes. In the case we actually talked in one of our classes about mubdal minhu and badal, yeah. So the mubdal minhu would be your antecedent. Your badal is what follows it, okay. In this case, the noun would come first, yeah. That's why it's antecedent. It's one that comes first, and then comes your pronoun. Your aid will go back to your antecedent, the noun. Yeah. What else did we talk about that was antecedent? We talked about mubda minhu. We talked about, remember, ma'tuf alayh and ma'tuf. Your ma'tuf alayh is your antecedent because it comes before your ma'tuf. Yeah, right? Remember that now?
uh,
We,
do you have any example for this?
well, you were present on the Wednesday class, yes?
This week?
Yeah, you were not, is it?
No, I
Ah,
didn't.
oh, then, oh yes, I remember you had an emergency, yes? Ah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you will need to see the recording for that. The examples are there. Yeah, and it's also in
Okay.
the notes as well. It's also in the notes, inshallah. Yeah, but everyone else understands this? Yeah, antecedent. Yeah,
That's okay.
inshallah.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. So here in this case, yeah, when you use a pronoun, when you're expected to use a noun. So in this case, this is a classic case, all right? This is from Surah Al-Baqarah. Here you see here, we say, yaquluna iftarahu. Yes. So there's nothing before here that goes back to anything. Yeah, because we are starting here alif lam mim. Sorry, this is not Surah Al-Baqarah. So here they represented by the waw. This is your waw jama'ah. Remember, waw jama'ah are actually the disbelievers. It's understood it's the disbelievers. Okay, in the whole Quran we've been talking about them. All right. And because remember, this Quran was revealed to Muhammad and he's often not mentioned. He's often not mentioned because we understand that Allah is talking to Muhammad and he's telling Muhammad, this is what they said. Okay. So he is here now addressed as the third person. Muhammad is addressed as the third person by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. So in this case, it's understood. This is understood. So we don't have to have an antecedent. All right. So this is the first case when we use a domir for your musnad ilaih, and the domir is considered proper, yeah, instead of the noun. Now, in this case, it's the other way around. This case is the other way around. After a noun has been mentioned, we do not normally say it again, okay, because we would use a pronoun to refer to it. Okay, we will use a pronoun to refer to it because we've already said it, you know. Ahmad left the house. He's going to the market, right? So we don't have to say Ahmad left the house. Ahmad is going to the market. It's understood that he here now refers to Ahmad. Yeah, Ahmad left the house. He's going to the market. Okay, so we don't normally say it again, but sometimes we do, and we do this for a certain effect, for a certain reason. Okay, effect mean effect as in E-F-F-E-C-T. Yes, the noun of affect, to affect something. Now, one of the reasons, okay, if you want to make the listener, the one who's listening, how heavy is the presence of that someone or something? Okay, so you repeat it again. Yeah, you repeat it again and sometimes again and again. All right. So we see this in the Quran, usually with the surahs that are towards the end. Yeah, the short surahs will do this. To make the listener understand the gravity and grandeur of something, how great something is, how serious something is. Yeah, like this, for example. It's repeated 3 times. Al-Qari'ah, mal-Qari'ah, wa ma adraka mal-Qari'ah. Yeah, so this is for effect because we want to know, want to show the listener that there's something serious here that we're discussing. Yeah, so I don't say the striking event, what is it? And what may you let you know what it is. Yeah, so it doesn't sound the same. Okay, it doesn't sound the same. So this is why you would repeat the noun while normally you wouldn't. Yeah, so this is one. And there are other reasons, like for example, you want someone to remember someone's name, so you keep on repeating it. Okay, this is something you do. Or maybe you just like saying it, you know, just like saying that person's name. Or because you are besieging someone. Yeah. Ahmad, please don't do that. Ahmad, you know it upsets me, you know. So you might repeat it again and again because of that. Okay, so this is when you unusually use, okay, out of the ordinary, you use the noun, which is already clear. You know what it is, the striking event. And you were expected to use a pronoun, it, but no, you repeat it again and again. Allah's repeated it again and again. Okay. Artifact. Now, this is a big topic. So I'm not going to go into detail, but at the same time, so that you appreciate it, I will go into some detail, all right? So iltifat is to change the person in repeated pronouns. That's not the only meaning. There's a slide that I will share below to show you that that's not the only thing. It means to change, okay? But in this context, we're looking at pronouns, yeah? To change the person in repeated pronouns, yeah? For example, from the third person to the first person, okay? So this is very common in the Quran. Yeah, here we have here. Sister Ralim, would you read the ayah for me, please?
Okay. أمن خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل لكم من السماء ماء فأنبتنا به حدائق ذات بهجة.
Bahja, yeah. So here, do you see the change from third to first person? Where do you see from third person to first? Amman khalaqa sama. I'll give you the translation if that makes it easier. But then in the translation, I've highlighted it, so I'm not going to give you the translation. Where is the third person here that changes to the first person? Anyone?
خلق, he create, وأنزل, and he sent down all of it.
Khalaqa, yes.
فأنبتنا, became we.
And it became we. Yes, good, excellent. Yeah, so here it is. Khalaqa is he who created, yeah. And from the third person, it went to we, yeah. From the first person, from the third to third, it goes to we, the first person. Now, he does this quite often in the Quran, yeah, Allah. Because the intention here is to show the great power behind the transformation. Yeah, he explains first what is happening, and then he's saying we caused it. Okay, we caused it. This is what we call the majestic plural, where I don't say I caused, but it's more like we caused it. Yeah, so this is one of the reasons. This is a form of iltifat. Then we have from first person to third person. Okay, similarly, with the exception of a small number of cases, the person involved in this type of iltifat is still Allah. Yeah, still Allah. So we see here, for example, na, first person, to who. Yeah, first person, to who. O you have believed, eat from the good things which we have provided from you and be grateful to Allah, if it is indeed Him that you worship. Yeah. So here it emphasizes the Tawheed. Yeah. Prerogative means that Allah's right. Yeah. That means this is His haq. And this haq is not shared by any other. Okay. Not shared from any other. And we're talking about His right to be looked at as the only one to worship, the only one that you shouldn't ascribe partners to. Yes, you must not ascribe partners to. The only one that is there to do judgment, especially the day of resurrection. And he should be the only one you turn to for help, the only one you need to ask forgiveness from, and so on. Yeah. So this is to emphasize Tawheed from first person to third person. Then we have from third person to second person. Yeah, third person to second person. Here, strictly speaking, we are not using a pronoun. Yeah, but when we address Allah in this fashion, it's like we're addressing a third person. Yeah, we're talking about Allah in this context. So in the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful, all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. It is you we worship and you we ask for help. Okay, so there is a switch from addressing someone that is in third person, Allah by name, and then saying you, addressing it. Whenever we use the second person, it's normally because we want to make a direct connection with that person. Okay, we make direct connections with people when either we want to, usually when we want to scold them, or when we want to, apart from scolding, well, why would you address when you want them to do something or not do something, right? So you want to engage the person directly. So here we are saying that it is you we worship and you we ask for help. Yeah, but in general, we address him like this more out of respect. Yeah, when we address a person like this as like a distance, you can imagine it like a third person being someone that's not there, right? So it's like a distance, but in this distance, it is a respectful distance. The same effect can be said, when you use a third person, if you want to show that you don't like the person. Okay, so we'll see this later on. But in this case, it's distancing for respect. Yeah, and then you address directly because you want him to be the one that gives the help, yeah, and the one that appreciates your worship. Yeah, it is you we worship and you we ask for help. So here, they explained here, Allah is used as a third person in this case where no pronoun of any kind can serve. Okay, so if we use here alhamdu, how would we use it as third person? Alhamduhu? No, it doesn't sound respectful enough. No, it doesn't give you that feeling of awe. So in this case, although it's in a third person perspective, we use the word lafzul jalala. So far so good? Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now we're using something called from the third person to second person. This is the case that I mentioned. Abasa wa tawalla. Abasa wa tawalla. We know, for those who study tafsir, why Allah has said this in third person. It is out of respect for Nabi. Yes, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like I said, if you had addressed him directly, ka, at the beginning, it would be more like a scolding. Yeah, more like a scolding, rather than an observation on his part of how Nabi has behaved, and he said that this is how you should be behaving. Yeah, you should be behaving in a different way. So he did this in a way that wouldn't jolt Nabi. I mean, Nabi, if let's say Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if Allah were to scold him, the impact on him would have been tremendous, right? So no, he used third person here. Third person here. And then only he used first. He used second. He frowned and turned away because they came to him a blind man. The blind man, does anybody know his name? This blind man interrupted him. Yeah, he's a famous blind man. Yeah, he became a famous Sahaba later on. But what would make you perceive, O Muhammad, that perhaps he might be purified? Yeah. So here, the shift in most examples of this kind is to be of the purpose of honoring, or it can be reproach, threat, and sometimes request. These are some of the reasons why. But in this case, it is honoring. Okay. Like I said, we can go into much detail on this, go through all the different cases, but I just want you to get a taste of why these things are done in the Quran and in day-to-day life. Yeah. Now, this one, second person to third person, is less frequent than the previous three kinds. When I'm talking about frequency here, I'm talking about the use in the Quran. Yeah. So here, okay. Brother Hazim, can you read this ayah, please?
Yes, that.
Thank you.
فهل عسيتم إن توليتم أن تفسدوا في الأرض وتقطعوا أرحامكم أولئك الذين لعنهم الله فأصمهم وأعمى أبصارهم.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you. Jazakallah. Jazakallah. So would you perhaps, if you turned away, cause corruption on earth and sever your ties of relationship? Those are the ones that Allah has cursed. So he deafened them and blinded their vision. Okay? First he addressed them directly because he wanted them to know that I'm annoyed with you. Yeah? But why did you do that? I'm angry with you actually. Not just annoyed, just angry. Yeah? And then he turns away and says, those are the ones that Allah has cursed. Yeah? And he's going to deafen them and he's going to blind them. Yeah? So this is the purpose of the second person to third person in this case. Yeah. So the shift indicates distancing for humiliation. There is another case that I will show you later that was done. I think I'm repeating it. Yeah. This is also the same thing, but this is in Surah Ar-Rum. Yes. So this is also to distance. Oh, sorry, not distance. This is to indicate honoring by elevating. Yeah, hold on. Sister Vinita, can you read the ayah, please? Sister Vinita, are you there? Did she leave? I hope not. Well, anyway, here we are. فَوَمَا آتَيْتُمْ مِنْ زَكَاةٍ تُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْمُضْعِفُونَ. Yeah, but what you give in zakah, desiring the countenance of Allah, those are the multipliers. Yes, those are the multipliers. In this case, however, the use of the indicative pronoun ulaika and the shift indicates honoring by elevating. Yeah, those are the multipliers. Just now, he was angry. He distanced them away. All right. Here now, he is honoring them by elevating them, those, no, far away. Yeah. Okay. Then we have another example, which I wasn't sure whether I wanted to share because it is quite complicated in a sense, but otherwise I think it's quite easy to understand. Yeah.
Yes, sister.
Yes. No, this is a very long ayah. Do you think you can read this?
Wait, sister, I've just come back. I can't even see. I don't know why I was not able to unmute myself.
Ah, okay. It's okay. I wasn't able to record either. Now I can, inshallah.
And while I was trying to unmute, my camera got on. So
Ah, okay.
I had to then go end call and come back.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can, sister.
Okay. Now, it is a long ayah, but yeah, but we need to read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not that great in reading, sister, but I'll still try. Sure.
Okay, then we will go to the English version then. At least the English version is easier.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Right.
It is Allah that conveys you by land and sea, and when you are in the ships, and the ships run with them, rejoicing in a favoring wind, a raging tempest overtakes them. Billows surge upon them from every side, and they fear that they are encompassed by death. They pray to Allah with all fervor, deliver us from the peril, and we will be truly thankful. Yet when He does deliver them, they rebel in the earth wrongfully. O men, your insolence is only against yourselves.
Okay.
Due to
So,
the okay.
so now, in this ayah, yes, there is a switch. First, he's talking directly to them, the people who are going onto the ship, and then he switches to third person. Okay, he
Yes.
switches to third person. What does this mean to you when you read it this way? What do you think it means to you when you read it this way?
So it is like when you start talking to someone and then you are so irritated by somebody that you don't no longer want to talk to that person. Instead, um, you just, I mean, you don't like to talk directly to them, something like that.
Okay, you're saying that this is distancing, right? Distancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Sister Ralin, what do you think? What's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts about this is when they are praying to Allah, so they use you. I mean, the connection were close, and then when Allah um, helped them out from the hardship, and then they became they became wrongdoers. Like
Okay. Now, you when you explain it that way, I think we have to see this slide first, okay?
okay.
There is another slide. There is another
Okay.
slide that we need to have a look at. I'm not sure which one it is. Let's see. You see the problem there when Sister Ralin was saying it? We need to know where the change has occurred and who is talking and who is saying what, right? Who is saying what? Is this the slide? Nope, this is not the slide. This is also not the slide. Ah, here it is. Okay. Now, for it to be iltifat, because you were saying that they said they addressed Allah directly. Yes, that's true. When they were praying to Allah, they were saying it in second person. Sorry, they were addressing him second person, right? They were doing the talking to Allah, right? But there was that's not the right person actually. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, for it to be iltifat, the pronoun in the person, yeah, the one that turns should refer to the same person from which one turned. Okay, repeat that again. The pronoun in the person one turns to should refer to the same person from which one turned. Okay, then it is iltifat. Then it's iltifat. So if you look at this example, what do I mean? You are my friend. This is obviously second person, and this is first person. But is this iltifat?
No.
No, right? No. Because it has to be the same person. You and my should have been the same person. Yeah. But here, yes, there is iltifat. Yeah. Inna a'tayna kal kawthar fasallun lirabbika wanhar. Yeah. So here, na is we, lirabb, your Lord, right? So there is a change, but we know we're talking about Allah. The switch is from Allah to Allah, from first person, third. Yeah. So that's where it is iltifat. So when we go back to this just now, all right, when we go back to here, the iltifat is actually happening here. This is Allah addressing them.
Yes.
This is Allah still addressing them. Okay, but in third person. And this is Allah addressing them again.
Second person.
Yeah. There is another reason why he used the third person here. Yeah. Because when you use the third person, it gives you this image of them being right out there by themselves in the ocean. Yeah. And the ocean is now stormy and it's tossing them here and there. I've seen those waves. I mean, when you see I haven't been in a sea when there's a storm, but if you see videos on YouTube or whatever, right, and you see the way the waves go up and down, it really makes you feel like there's no one else. All you see is sea. Yeah, and you see the sea raging at you. So when in this case, not only because he's displeased with them, but he wants to give you that picture that they're really totally helpless. They out there alone. Yeah. So this is the effect that it has here for this particular double effect. But of course, when he's angry back at them again, right? Then it goes back to your insolence. Here he's saying, well, you see, this is what I did for you, right? I conveyed you here and there. And I made you, I made it possible for you to use ships. I've given you wind. Yeah. These are all him telling, this is what I did for you. This is what I did for you. This is what I did for you. Yeah. And here, this is your insolence. Yeah. He's scolding them now. So many sides in this one ayah. It's a
So
beautiful
it's
example.
not about distancing. It's not distancing. It's just
There is some distancing, but on top of the distancing, he's making them look small and helpless as well. by using, yeah, there is distancing. But this is even more direct. This one shows them how displeased he was. He's talking back to them directly already. Yeah, because he's holding them one-on-one.
You know, sister, how I translated like into this expression, because you know, sometimes even when we talk to our children, we are really upset about something, and then we are like, first we are directly talking to them. Didn't I ask you not to do this? And there is another child of yours who's standing there, and then you start talking to the other child, you know, telling, I have told her 1,000 times not to do this. You know, so it is, you know, so I was just thinking it that way when
Yes,
I read,
yes, you're right.
you know, so giving more importance to the second one, that you also, you know, get to know what she's done. So like showing more angle. By now I'm not directly,
And
you know,
also, you're also teaching your other child, right?
other child.
At the same
Yes,
time.
yes,
Yes, yes,
yeah, that is
yes.
what, that's why I said maybe it's like more of that expression.
Yeah. Allah does that often. He does.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have a few more to do. Alhamdulillah, that's a good observation. I think we do that all the time. Now, this one, I
So,
just want to mention. Mhm. Yeah.
so in the ayah before, there is iltifat, but some of them only, and some of them are not.
Yes, some of the change, as you see, from there was no change, for example. Hold on, yeah. There was no change uh, of the way they address Allah, for example. Yeah, they did not change that. Yeah, they were here. They were addressing Allah. Yeah, deliver us from this peril, and we will be truly thankful. Yeah, there's no change, no switch from them to Allah. They didn't like address Allah. They didn't address themselves as a third person, or so there's no change here, for
uh,
example.
sister,
The
sister,
assembly.
I'll go for prayer. Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll continue, right?
Yes, yeah, I'm
I'll
continuing.
join you in 10 minutes, inshallah. I'll be online, but I'll join you later, inshallah.
Okay. Yes, so there is no change here, Sister Ali. Yeah.
Sister, now I'm not able to mute myself, huh? So, but I'm not there. Yeah.
Okay, understand. Yeah, you get that? There is no iltifat. There is no iltifat between them and Allah. The way they are addressing Allah. In this case, Allah is addressing them in two ways. First, as first person. Second person. Secondly, as third person. Yeah, Allah is talking about them first in second person, then in third person. In this case, they are talking about Allah, but always us, we, first person to Allah. There is no iltifat on their part.
Okay.
Okay.
So when Allah address your insolence means
He
refer to
switched back.
the
He
people
switched back to
in
second
the
person.
ships.
Yes, he's talking to them, the ones who went onto the ship. Yeah, the one who used the ship.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Oh yeah, where was I? Here. Oh yeah, we saw this already. Go back to here. I just want to tell you the different types of iltifat. Yeah. The most common is actually change in person. Yeah, the most common is change in person, the one that we are discussing. But there are other kinds of iltifat as well. Yeah, when you change in number, when you switch from singular dual to plural. Yeah, when you change in addressee, whom you are addressing. When you change the tense of the verb, past tense to present tense. Sometimes you see this in the Quran. Yeah, when you change the case marker, the status. Instead of mansub, instead of majrur, instead of mansub, it's majrur. This is something we'll discuss in ayah 66. Okay, using noun in place of a pronoun. Yeah, these are things that we consider iltifat. Then we saw this just now. Oh, sorry, we didn't see this now. This now the 6 kinds of changes of person. This is the most common. Third to first, we saw an example. First to third as well, we saw an example. Second to third, we just talked about it. Second to third, 30 instances. First to second, we are not going to talk about it because there's only one case in the Quran. But even then, you're not sure whether it's iltifat or not. Yes, some can argue that it is not. and second to third. There is no example in the Quran. Yeah, there's no example to this. Yeah, so we covered 4 of these 6 in tonight's examples. And then we said this before, we covered this. And the final one, I'm just explaining what is first person, second person, third person in terms of Arabic. Yeah, mutakalim, muhatab, al-ghaibah. Now, the mukhatab pronoun can be used to make a general reference to any person, not just the person being spoken to. Yeah, backbiting is you're talking about your brother in a manner which he does not like. So this your or this person you're talking to can be anyone. It can be anyone. So it can be used for someone who is not in front of you as well. Yeah, that means if you miss someone, for example, or someone has passed on. Yeah, and you sometimes talk to yourself, or like Sister Vineta says, you're talking to someone, and then you say, you know, he used to love sitting in that chair, or you should have seen her smile. Yeah, or maybe this is a cat who's just died, and you say, you know, he used to wait for me every time I want to come back from work, and it's just waiting at the door. Yeah, so these are the things how you would use a pronoun. So, but the fundamental rule here for a pronoun is that you don't mention it unless there is a need. Okay, you don't mention it unless there is a need. So this is something we need to remember. Okay, we're going to move on to 2 more cases of proper. So we might take longer than usual. The first one is alamun. Alamun. If you have any question on the change of persons, you can personally message me, and inshallah I'll try and answer them. Yeah. Alamun ma'rifah. So what is alamun? It's a proper name. Yeah. This one is the plural. Ulmiyah. So here is a typical Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Yes, this is how you would use a proper name, you know, because it's someone well known or someone that you know. Yeah. Or in the Quran, we use it sometimes when that name can be used to fit the context. Okay, for example, in the case of Abu Lahab, this is not his name, but his kunya. That means his nickname, something like that. And it means the father of flames. And he was given this nickname because he was very fair. Yeah, he was very fair. And there was this redness in his skin. You know? People who are fair, they blush. So he's that sort. You know, he's that sort. So here, may the 2 hands of Abu Lahab perish, and may he perish, he will soon enter a fire full of flames. Yeah. So here the name Abu Lahab is used to fit the punishment that he will receive. This is why Allah used his name. Just right. Yeah. Then another use of proper is ismu ishara. By the way, there are other uses for proper names, but I'm just mentioning that first. Yeah. So maybe inshallah, biiznillah, we can do it in more detail when we actually go on to our balaghah classes. So here, the demonstrative noun, ismu ishara. Yeah, what do we use an ismu ishara for? We use it to point at something. Yeah, but there are 3 cases of pointing, 2 of which you are very familiar with. A third one, which I'm introducing here, but just more for your knowledge. Yeah. So here, when you want to show something that is near, you know this, used for closeness, haza. If it's feminine, hazihi. And something here, this is the new one. When it's not near, not far, it's in the middle, we use zaka. And here, used for far distance, becomes zalika. Yeah, or tilka. The ka here to show distance. So just remember this a bit. So you either use it to point to something far or to point to something near, to indicate something near to you. So the effect of this far and near, right, this effect of far and near can add meaning to your sentence, all right? It can add meaning to your sentence. And usually in the Quran, it's used where it's not necessary to use ism ishara. It's already understood, but still it's being used, okay? So what do you mean by this? When we want to describe something as great, grand, okay, by using the close noun, okay, now here is what we call darajatahu, is meaning its status, okay, darajat, status, position, degree. Yes, alhamdulillah, you're back. So here, inna hazal Qur'ana yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. Yes. So here, we could have just said innal Qur'ana, but there's haza. There's haza. Verily, this Quran guides to that which is most just, to most just. Aqwam is just in this case. Aqwam is used for many meanings. So here you're expressing how amazing it is that the Quran is so close to you. It's there, it's part of you. Yeah. Then you can also describe how great something is by using the fa noun. Remember when we elevated the people who gave zakah? We said those are the ones, we said, right? Those are the ones who will get multiple rewards. Yeah. So here is another example. Zalikal kitabu la raiba fi. Yeah. Why do we use fa when the Quran is usually in our hands, right? So that is the book. Here is to show that it is a great book. And how do we say? By distancing it in terms of high up and noble, elevating it. Yeah, elevating it. This is what we said before. Now, you can also belittle something by using ism ishara. Oh, okay. This is what we call tahqir, to belittle someone. هل هذا إلا بشر مثلكم? Yeah. Is this, the disbelievers were referring to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah, more than a human being like you, I mean, no different. He goes to the market, he eats. This is what they said, right? So here you use the haza to say, is this, I think we do this even every day. Yeah, not only in the Quran we see this. Is this what you mean? Is this the person you said who was so blah, 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 and then you're wondering what's so great. Yeah. So this is the tone, the tone they're using. But you can also belittle by using the fa noun. This is what Sister Vineta was saying, when you don't want to have to do anything to do with this thing. Yeah. So this is your tahqir more, by distancing. فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ. Yeah, these are the people who don't even, they don't even know the orphans. Yeah, so that is he. So we don't like this sort of person. We don't like this sort of person. Yeah. So you can belittle by using close and far. You can also make something big by using close and far. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So there are other cases, but like I said, we won't address it. We just do this for now. And next week, inshallah, we will carry on with Mawsul, Mudaf, using Alif Lam and Nida. Yes, inshallah. And that should take us the whole lesson, actually, inshallah. And I do not think we can do Ayah 66. But Ayah 66 is interesting. As I said, there is a special case that I would like to discuss as well after we have done that Ayah. And next week, Friday, I will just finish my exam. Yeah, so we won't have a class either Wednesday or Friday. Yeah, inshallah. We will start the week after that. Right? All right, just to let you know. But please use the
14th, sister. 14th, we'll have our next class.
yes. 14th is next
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, the Friday after next, right? Yeah.
No, I think it's 13th. It should be 13th.
Oh, it's December, right?
Yeah,
Today
13th December.
is the 29th. Today is the 29th, Friday. So the next Friday is the 6th.
13th.
So
13th.
we will have it on the 13th. Yeah. Friday the 13th. Okay, right. Okay, alamun. Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Nash'adu an la ilaha illa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please go through lessons that you miss and then you come back to me with any questions that you have. Yes? Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair, sister.
Jazakallah.
Barakallahu feekum.